Hi, hello and welcome back to Phoenix Dreams. Just a word of warning before you watch the video. Stay home, stay safe times means that I've gone ahead and given myself a Jeremy. Yeah, this is the one. So just be prepared for it when you watch the video. And those of you who got the Jeremy reference, please mention it in the comment section. Thank you very much. You can watch the video now. Hi, hello and welcome back once again to Phoenix Dreams, Siddharth. And this is SpeakWrite with Sid, episode 6. Right. Now, a few days ago, when I was doing one of my sessions with a group on English and English language and vocabulary, there was a very interesting topic we discussed, and I thought it would be nice to share it with you as well. Now, what we're talking about is we're talking about collective nouns, nouns that you or names that you give a group of anything. And the conversation moved on to group of animals. What are the collective nouns for various groups of animals called? So, like I said, it's a very interesting topic because there are certain groups of animals which are called very unique and interesting names. So we'll talk about that. We'll first start with the common ones. Now, see, now there are certain names, certain group nouns which are given to animals which are very common to similar kinds of animals. Like for example, a herd, H-E-R-D, herd, is a very common name given to a lot of herbivores or grass-eating animals, grassivores. So goats, sheep, deer are all called herds. Herds of goat, herds of sheep, herds of deer. So similarly, in the wild as well, a lot of these grass-eating animals are also called herds. So you have a herd of elephants, a herd of zebras, a herd of giraffes. But for these three animals, there are also specific different names given at times. So it's okay to call them a herd, but at times they're called differently. For example, a group of elephants is also called a memory of elephants. Now, there is a reason for all of this. Why memory? Because elephants are said to, and it's also proven fact, to have a very, very good memory. So if you have a group of elephants together, imagine the collective memory that is there in the entire herd of elephants. So a herd of elephants is also called a memory of elephants. Similarly, if you have a group of zebras together, it is going to be a dazzling sight. So a group of zebras is also called a dazzle of zebras. Now, giraffes. A herd of giraffes is a group of very tall, towering creatures together. Giraffes is called a tower of giraffes. So that's the interesting aspect of the herbivores, of the herd animals. Now moving on to birds. Normally, if you want to talk about a group of birds, you can very well call them a flock of birds. So any kind of birds, a group of birds together flying, is called a flock. Now, here as well, there are certain names which are specific to certain collective nouns, which is specific to specific birds. Like for example, geese. Now, geese is a plural of goose. One goose, many geese. So if you have a group of geese, you can very well call them a flock of geese. But another term used for geese is a gaggle of geese. G-A-G-G-L-E, a gaggle of geese, because they're noisy, they honk. It's a cacophony once again. They're quite loud and noisy, so it's a gaggle of geese. Now there are two very interesting ones over here. Ravens, the bigger variety of crows. If you have a group of ravens, it's a very dark, ravens are unkind creatures. So there are various names given to it. They are also called, like the word I just said, they are also called an unkindness of ravens. Now, because they're also known to be treacherous, and they're supposed to be, and all these are perceptions, not really true. But because of their dark color, they are also known as a murder of ravens. So, an unkindness of ravens or a murder of ravens, both are acceptable terms. Then, when it comes to owls, if you have a group of owls together, again there is a interesting name. Now, owls are supposed to be wise, because whenever you use a comparative phrase, you always say as wise as an owl. So, if you have an entire group of owls together, there is a lot of wisdom there, supposedly. So, a group of owls is also called a parliament of owls, because it's like a few wise old men sitting and deciding the steps to be taken ahead, forming decisions and policies. So it's a parliament of owls. Right? Okay, then moving on to a few more interesting ones. Coming back to birds, if you have a group of flamingos, now flamingos are some of the most beautiful birds that you will see. So if you have a group of flamingos, it's also called a flamboyance of flamingos. So another very apt term for flamingos. Moving on, there are certain other interesting collective nouns. Let's talk about rhinoceros. A rhinoceros is a strong animal, bulky, stout, but they're also quite quick on their feet when they run. So, but they're not very agile, not very elegant like a gazelle. They're clumsy runners, they just burst through. So if you have a group of rhinoceroses running together, nothing can stand in their path. Whatever is in the way, they're just going to crash through it. So a group of rhinoceroses is also called a crash of rhinoceroses. Similarly, some simple ones that we all must be aware of. A group of lions is called a pride of lions. A group of dogs or any dog-like creature is normally called a pack. A pack of dogs, a pack of wolves. Right? Now, that brings me, now we talked about a pride of lions. What about tigers? What is a group of tigers called? Is a group of tigers called a pride of tigers? No, it is not. So is there a name for a group of tigers? Now, technically speaking, if you look up Google, you'll find that there are certain names given to it. It's either called an ambush of tigers or it's called a streak of tigers. But both these words will be very, very rarely used terms, because it is very rare that you will find a group of tigers together. Now, unlike lions, which is a social animal and they live in an entire family with one male, many females and their cubs, tigers, on the other hand, are solitary animals. So you will not commonly find a group of tigers together for them to be called an ambush or a streak. So it's a very rarely used term. So you don't really term a group of tigers anything, because you won't find a group of tigers. If you do, it's called an ambush or a streak, right? So that's all I had. Just some interesting collective nouns for animals. If you come up with anything more interesting that you can come across, do some research, find out. It's a very interesting topic. You'll find many more than what I mentioned. So just go ahead, research a bit more, find out your own interesting groups of animals and put them in the comment section. Right? So that's all I have for you. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll catch you again later.